Welcome to MTBXP. I'm David. Today, we're doing the best kind of upgrades, the ones that no one asked for.
Hey, don't touch my bike.
So the first thing we should talk about is philosophy of upgrading, because we should know why we're upgrading. That way we can prevent ourselves from upgrading just for the sake of it, which is essentially flushing money right down the toilet. So the first thing we're gonna upgrade for is for short fingers. So one of the problems that I see is going on is that I can't adjust the reach enough for the cable pull brakes for my kids' short fingers to reach the brakes and have them adjusted properly. So that's the first thing we've got to tackle. The other one is going to be those famous grip shifters. So whether or not it's easier or more difficult to use grip shifters versus trigger shifters, I don't care. I'm gonna put trigger shifters just because I think they're easier. And the last one is gonna be a solid platform. So from my experience, having a better platform to stand on makes you more comfortable and more confident on the bike. So those are the things, and that's my philosophy for upgrading the components that I'm going to upgrade. So how are we going to tackle this? First one is going to be hydraulic brakes. So hydraulic brakes, because you don't run out of room and distance for the reach on the lever for braking, that's the first thing we're going to put on there. And in addition to that, the brake squeal is no longer going to make you crazy, because what I found is that cable pull disc brakes rub a lot more than hydraulic brakes just because it's easier to adjust those things. Now the second one, the grip shifters, the infamous grip shifters.
Infamous is when you're more than famous. This man El Guapo is not just famous, he's infamous.
We're gonna switch those out just for trigger shifters. That should be easier to switch gears. So again, that's how we're gonna solve that problem. And the last one is going to be the platforms, and what we're gonna do there is use wider pedals. So using wider pedals should give you a more solid base to stand on, and again, making it easier and more comfortable.
So here I placed the stock GT pedal with my old Mongoose pedals from my old Mongoose, and you can tell that the Mongoose pedal is a lot bigger than the GT one. It's about more than ½ inch longer, and at the nose part, about a ¼ inch wider. If you probably go from the widest point, it's probably ½ inch wider as well. So again, using a larger pedal, and also because it's a kid's bike, not using the pedals with the metal pegs in there that can give you a nice shinner is also a benefit too. Replacing the grip shifter is a Shimano Atlas SL M315 7-speed trigger shifter. So this is the simple replacement. Essentially take out the grip shifter, drop in this new trigger shifter, and then you'll be good to go. The one thing about this shifter is that to shift to a higher gear, it is a pulling action only on the lever. So unlike the higher end Shimanos where you can push with your thumb on both levers, you can't do that here. You can only pull to shift to a higher gear, and you push with your thumb to shift to a lower gear.
There's nothing wrong with cable pull disc brakes, but I'm upgrading to hydraulic brakes mainly for two reasons. Number one, kids have short fingers. So having a short reach on a cable pull disc brake makes it really difficult to brake sometimes just because you don't have that amount of cable pull that you can do. So adjusting the reach on hydraulic disc brake does not affect the braking power of the bike. And number two is a mental health reason. It's that I found that hydraulic brakes rub a lot less than cable pull disc brakes, so you don't hear that rubbing sound constantly, which is really going to help you out. So here's the final product. Put some pink grips on there, remove the grip shifters. You can see the new trigger shifter there. Here are the new hydraulic brakes. You can see here that I tuned the levers pretty close, and you can see me pressing it here that there is still a lot of room left, or enough room left for it to grab so it doesn't touch the bars. Have the larger pedals here. Can't visually notice it, but the rider will notice it. So as for the result, I'm happy with it. And as for my kid, they asked me why'd I change everything. It was fine the way before, but hey, we know better than they do.